You get a call in the middle of the night. Two people are dead. And they're just not anyone. They're your family. That's exactly what happened to Netflix actor Callum Kerr's mother, Dawn Searle, and her husband, Andrew, who were found dead inside their home in France. But was this murder or something even more disturbing? Just hours before their deaths, CCTV cameras captured Andrew Searle alone in a local supermarket. He was seen making a small purchase, a bar of chocolate and two lottery tickets. A routine transaction. Nothing seemed off. No sign of distress. But within hours, he would be dead. There were no signs of forced entry. No struggle captured on camera. Just a quiet home in rural France, which now turned into a crime scene that left investigators confused. At first, police suspected a murder self-harm case, but as details unfolded, the truth became far more complicated. Was this an open and shut case of domestic violence, or was there something much darker hiding beneath the surface? Andrew and Dawn built a life many would envy. They had left the UK behind for a peaceful retirement in southwestern France, settling in Boudrock, a small village known for its quiet countryside and close-knit expat community. Andrew, 65 years old, was a former British soldier, disciplined, tough, and used to structure. His military background shaped the way he carried himself, calm, calculated, and in control. Dawn, 64, was known for her warmth. She had a kind and caring nature, devoted to her family and loved by those around her. To outsiders, their lives seemed idyllic, a retired couple living out their golden years in the French countryside. But behind closed doors, something wasn't right. And on February 8, 2025, everything changed. If you're still here, you're part of the club, curious, thinking, and looking for answers. So why not make it official? Hit subscribe and like this video. Together, we'll uncover the stories the world tries to forget. At 1:30 a.m., French emergency services received a distress call. By the time police arrived at the house, Andrew and Dawn Searle were dead. At first glance, it seemed like a murder self-harm case, a tragic end to a private family matter. But as investigators stepped inside, the scene told a different story. The evidence wasn't lining up. No clear motive, no obvious sequence of events, just a crime scene that raised more questions than answers. If this was a crime of passion, where was the trail of evidence? If this was premeditated, what was the motive? With little to go on, detectives turned to the couple's final days, hoping to find the missing pieces. When investigators examined the scene, they expected to piece together a logical chain of events. Instead, the case became even more confusing. Police initially considered murder self-harm, but certain details didn't fit the pattern. Typically, these cases follow a progression, an argument, an escalation, and then the final act. But here, the sequence was unclear. No weapon was found. No history of domestic violence. No immediate evidence of what happened inside the house. But then, another mystery surfaced. If an outsider was involved, how did they get inside? No broken windows, no forced locks, no missing valuables. If something else had been there, how did they enter and leave without a trace? And then, investigators uncovered Andrew's final moments, caught on camera, revealing a detail no one expected. Just hours before his death, CCTV footage captured Andrew at a local shop. He was seen buying a chocolate and two lottery tickets, chatting with the store clerk, calm, smiling, seemingly at ease. The store owner, who saw him regularly, said he showed no signs of distress. He was relaxed, acting completely normal. So how did he go from that to being found dead in his home less than 24 hours later? Neighbors recalled seeing Andrew walking his dogs the day before, but one detail stood out. He was on the phone and he seemed frustrated. A witness described him as agitated, arguing with someone in English. Who was on the other end of that call? Then, another oddity surfaced. Andrew had been concerned about something unusual at his house. A family friend later revealed that Andrew had been suspicious about his garage door. He was sure he had closed it, but on more than one occasion, he found it open. He checked for missing items but found nothing out of place. Was this just a mistake? Or was someone watching them? But as investigators looked closer, they realized Andrew Searle wasn't just another expat enjoying his life in France. He had spent years tracking financial criminals. He worked with law enforcement, cracking down on fraud and money laundering. He had investigated high-level crime networks, including organized crime syndicates. Had someone from his past tracked him down? Reports even suggest that Andrew may have been tortured before his death. Dawn had suffered a head wound and was found near the front door, surrounded by scattered jewelry. But nothing was stolen. This wasn't a random robbery. This wasn't a case of domestic conflict. So what really happened inside that house? And who else might be involved? So far, 3 main theories have emerged, but none of them bring us closer to the truth. Theory number 1, the murder self-harm theory. At first, authorities suspected this was a domestic dispute turned deadly, a tragic case of violence escalating behind closed doors. But something didn't add up. No known history of violence. Andrew and Dawn were described as a loving couple with no reported tensions, no clear sequence of events. In most cases like this, there's an argument, a struggle, a final act. But here, the timeline is murky. No murder weapon found. If this was an internal act, where was the weapon? Could this have been the answer? Or was it a quick assumption that ignored deeper possibilities? Theory number 2, the targeted murder theory. Andrew Searle was no ordinary retiree. Before moving to France, he spent years tracking financial criminals, money launderers, and even terror networks. He worked against some of the most dangerous figures in organized crime. Did someone from his past come back for revenge? Was this a warning, a silencing? Could this explain why Andrew may have been tortured before his death? If this was an assassination, who ordered it? And why now? Theory number 3, the burglary gone wrong theory. Some believe the couple may have been targeted in a home invasion that took a violent turn. But does the evidence support it? No sign of forced entry. Whoever was inside the house didn't need to break in. Jewelry was scattered near Dawn's body, but nothing was reported missing. A staged scene, perhaps? Andrew had been worried about his garage door being mysteriously left open. Was someone lurking around their home in the days before the crime? If this was a robbery, why didn't the intruder take anything? And if they weren't there to steal, what was their real motive? Each theory raises more questions than answers. Andrew and Dawn Searle weren't just names in a police report. They were real people, leaving behind an ordinary life in the French countryside. A quiet home, a fresh start, a future they were still building. For their family, especially Callum Kerr, this wasn't a tragic headline. It was a nightmare that changed everything. This case remains open. Investigators are still searching for answers, piecing together the final moments of that fateful night. Was this a crime of passion, a targeted attack, or something even more calculated? Somewhere out there, someone knows what really happened inside that house. And one day, the truth will surface. Subscribe to Case Solvers Club for more cases like this. We investigate, We analyze and we uncover the truth, one case at a time.